First time here to get 2 Battle Pass skins. So much crap to talk about, boys. A9B. In this video, we're going with patch notes for the game King God Castle 6.1.8, new season 47, and it has been a hot minute, boys. Sorry, because I did get sick for a little bit, and then I finally am feeling a little better. And also, AWESOMEPIECE released that roadmap about their their English transcription of the conference that they had in Korea, and also like some of their answers to some of our FAQ questions that we sent in, right? And that kind of left a very sour taste in my mouth, and that kind of hit my motivation to make content. I mean, I'm still making content, I'm still playing the game literally every day. That's not gonna stop me from doing it. It's just that seeing, I just want, King God Castle is one of my favorite crap in the world, right? And it sucks that there's so much negativity around the game, and for rightly so. I'm not saying that it isn't warranted. It is 100,000% warranted. But it's like AP as a developer, they're not handling the situation well at all. And I personally don't think they're making the correct decisions. And there's a lot of stuff around it. Now, I did not make a video about that FAQ, and I'm debating whether or not to even just go through that in this video. We might do that at the end. This video is going to be freaking long if I do. I haven't really fully dove in the FAQ, so it's going to be an interesting read. Just know there's a lot of disappointment in that, for sure. I have a lot of freaking feelings about it, and it's not great, boys. It is not freaking great. But we'll get to it. It's a whole freaking thing. But let's talk about the freaking update, okay? Like, it's not gonna stop me from being hyped for an update. I'm still wanting to see all the new stuff. So you can see there, PRIYA, one of the first few heroes that have a battle pass skin. Now she's getting the first second, version, right? Because if you guys haven't been really keeping up, they did say in the past that, there was a question about, are you going to go back to the older battle pass skins and make them up on par with the current, like how the current ones look, like the effort and things like that, right? So their answer was like, no, we are not going to rework the skins. Instead, we're just going to go back and give them a brand new one, right? A brand new battle pass skin. We're like, okay. And then boom. There you go, boys. This is the fruit of that I guess that work, right? But we'll get into it. So let's go back up real quick, man. This video is gonna get. I'll try to keep it short and sweet, because I do kind of want to go in. I'm actually curious about that Q&A now. So new update cycle. So a lot of this, if you guys saw my I did cover the conference before they introduced the English transcription, so I kind of hit on some of these notes already. But if this is new to you, then some of this information would be new, right? So as announced in the user meeting, we are moving to an update on Wednesday instead of Thursday, which is great, right? So I don't know why it was Thursday. It's awful that it's Thursday. The time frame kind of depends on where you are in the world, right? But one day earlier is 10 times better. And they're just kind of going through the changes in the update cycle. So pretty much, instead of having an update every week, it's going to be every other week. So the first week, which is the Battle Pass release date, right? And then the following week will not have an update. And then the third update per the cycle is going to be the hero update, right? The quote-unquote hero update. That's when we usually get a hero. And then the fourth week will be nothing, and then boom, new hero, and then cycle goes over again. So it will just be updated every other week. But that doesn't mean that it will be less content. It just means that they're combining the first and second week of updates into one, if that makes sense, right? So which I like it. I definitely like the Thursday to Wednesday for sure. This is the cycle of the schedule. Please do. They already know about this whole league half season crap. I'm pretty sure it's going to change eventually, but this stuff needs to change, brother. The next league season, it better not have half seasons anymore. I do not like it. AP even knows that it's freaking awful. So we will see. This thing is just saying for this current season, this upcoming one will run until the 27th, 1 day less of the previous season because of all the changes that they're going to be making. And then this one is going to be the invasion chapter cadence. It will be every 3 seasons. I believe it was every other season, right? It was every 2 seasons they're doing invasion. So now they're extending that cycle, right, to every 3 seasons now. So interesting. So that is what, 4 invasion chapters in a year time frame, correct? And then new and corruption chapters will be released starting from 48, not 47, and then it will be proceeded to every 3 seasons. Cool, I guess. Skins are updated every other week. Many skins, 2 skins will be released each season, reduce effort, etc., etc. So they're trying to, instead of like volume, they're gonna focus on quality, right? They're just gonna put more artwork release with, you know, the skins and things like that. Is definitely a lot better, and I don't want a chroma swap. Okay, give me something interesting. And then, man, I gotta freaking fast. There's too much stuff to talk about. Priya, the Queen of Eternal Forests. Cool. I don't know how I feel about this. Can you guys just pick Awakening 1 for me so we can see? I'm going to assume. Is this the same blue color? I don't think so. I don't think it's the same blue. It's a little more tealy, or a little more green in there, right? So I'm gonna assume that the ice, the Awakening 1 floor ice thing is that color, so it is a little different. It's okay, you know. Now I am a Zhao Yun fan, as some of you might know. So does that mean Zhao Yun is next? I'm excited for that, but this doesn't get me excited. You know, it's fine. It's fine. And you know what's funny is because a lot of players see this and they're like, oh, like Victoria doesn't have one yet. And there are still a handful of heroes that don't have a battle pass skin yet, right? They just ended up like, they're like, why are you going back now, right? The reason why, I'm gonna tell you right now, is that the reason why is that they developed this and like, this has been in the works, right? And they got it done. It was just a matter of time of when they're gonna release it, right? And it just so happens now is the time that they're releasing it, right? Because it's done. It's done, right? So it's more of like it's been cooking in the back. It's not like, oh, we didn't want to give Tayback a skin. I mean, to be honest, Tayback Battle Pass skin isn't going to, you know, sell that much. You know, it's kind of like a Daniel Battle Pass or an Agath, right? But I mean, like, it's more of the fact that they developed this and it's been cooking and it's done. And well, might as well release it out, right? But yeah, we're still waiting on like a mono. Everyone's like, oh, where's Seda? And there's definitely way more popular heroes right now that like they need a battle pass skin. And it's kind of funny that like we're reaching the end of the like we're slowly getting to the more recent heroes that don't have a battle pass skin, right? Because most of the quote unquote older ones have one, right? So it is interesting. Now I don't love it. I don't love it. I mean, if it was Zhao Yun, I'd be freaking hype, but I've never really been a Priya fan. And then Arena, you know what? Let's go ahead and see that. Because we do have balance patches. And this is the reward stuff. Here's raid. Oh, it's a freaking raid, bro. Blood Greed for solo. This is Giant Mage Hero. Blacksmith for Alliance, if you care about that garbage. And then Element North is the Grand Arena. Of course, there's not a list of those heroes. Whatever, whatever, brother. And then we'll go back to the main thing, and then Red Moon Festival. Let's just go to Red Moon Festival. They are changing some of the acquisition rates, so you pretty much get more, right? This is the same, I believe. And then amount consumed in a result rank. So basically they're adjusting the acquisition rate, right? This is pretty big. Event skins, instead of 298 event tokens, it is 600 event tokens now. That's a lot of event tokens. I barely do event. Event tokens, that's a lot. That's big. This change will be applied from current season 47 and onwards. I don't know how people are going to feel about that. But they are increasing the acquisition amount, so I have no freaking clue. No freaking clue. We will see. Here are the returning Battle Pass skins. Bomby. As a reminder, I do have all of these Battle Pass skins and all the skins in the game currently available on my skin playlist on my channel. You can check it out. No BGM. Sound effects on. It's a good time. Kathy. Pretty cool skin. Gunslinger, one of my faves for sure. Here are all the Red Moon Festival skins with the new one, Red Fort Ren. We can check that one out. That one's pretty freaking crazy. And then this is just saying, hey, these will be sold in future updates. It'll be coming back, so don't worry. That is Red Moon Festivals. Again, the seasonal event changes will be starting season 47. And then they're just rehashing a bunch of stuff. Oh wait, they did kind of change this. Hold on. Result rank, supplies consumption amount, number of cleared rounds, provides the same amount of tokens for all floors. Interesting. So it's the same. It doesn't scale. I'm assuming it's net positive. I'm gonna assume net positive. Now this is kind of crazy. I'm assuming because they increased it. I'm assuming this is increase. You know, I'm not using much brain power. I'm assuming this is increase. So they're like, okay, we have to increase event skin token, event skin prices or whatever. Just keep it the same, bro. Just freaking keep it the same. And then changes to the event mode. Instead of being able to play both all random and red versus blue, it will change to a system where you can play either alternatively each season. Interesting. As event mode is reduced to 1, the number of event tokens that can be required when playing once a day will increase. Huh. This update is for smooth management of each mode, and we will continue to add content that is not updated previously. This season, you can only play all random boss battle, and bosses up to chapter 2-4 will be added. That's interesting, I guess. Interesting. We'll see, but at least they're adding new bosses, so I guess that's a thing. That's a thing. Then here's the hero balance changes. Line, my boy Leo, he decreased 25 mana, so he's a 3 melee hero. Boom skill, more defense. You guys can pause the video and read the description yourself, but it's nothing new. I imagine there's nothing freaking new, boy. Like, cool. He can do what he does better, and he's relevant. It just makes him more relevant. 200, 150 more defense. Cool, right? Still basic boy, but better. Zhao Yun, when using Enrage, attack speed does not change constantly according to spell power fluctuations. Huh. When using abilities, Zhao Yun's attack speed is reflected in real time according to spell power. However, when we determine this method causes too much blah blah blah, therefore it will be changed so that Zhao Yun can expect more stable DPS possible. Hold on. Now, I might be a little out of touch with Zhao Yun. To be honest, I haven't really been spamming him. Okay, so to be fair, Zhao Yun changes over the years. It hasn't really been, it's been shadow nerf, it's shadow nerf, shadow change, or whatever, right? Was it in patch notes type stuff? Oh, we noticed it, and then oh, it's changed, right? So the last time I dove into it was Zhao Yun. When he activates skill, it will check at that point in time what his spell power is, and then his attack speed will change at that point, and it will be steady. So if, for example, it doesn't dynamically change if Zhao Yun spell power drops, and it doesn't mean that his attack speed will get lower. It will still stay the same. So in the past, it was really important for Lunaire to be casting, insta cast first, and to Zhao Yun activate skill at the point in which his spell power is the highest to get the most attack speed, and then it was stable. It didn't matter if your numbers went up or down. Your attack speed did not scale, right? That's how it used to happen. I don't know how it is now. I thought it was a stable thing. It was a change at some point, and then it was the whole 60 FPS the thing, and now it's limited and all this garbage with Zhao Yun. But I thought is this, you guys are more smart than, you are way smarter than I am. All right. Now, is this a thing where AP doesn't play their game and they're unsure, right? And it's always been like this? Or is it a thing where it did get changed at some point, like after my knowledge of it, and then it started fluctuating, and then now they're putting it back, like officially? I don't know, bro. But basically, I thought this was how it did used to function like this. It used to be steady at the time of him doing a skill. It will check the current SP, and then the duration of his attack speed buff or whatever, right? His the attack steroid, right? It doesn't fluctuate. Like it is not dynamic, right? Interesting. That's interesting. Someone confirm. I'm very interesting. I mean, I could test it, but you guys are smarter than I am. Tae-sun cannot use some normal attacks while using power and Tiger Strike. That is a nerf for sure. So he's definitely not going to be spamming as much as before. Basically, he has to wait until he casts the entire freaking Tiger, and then he's able to actually cast and get mana or whatever. So basically, solo, like if you don't have a battery unit or something, it's gonna feel like a little bit worse, right? Because right now, before season 47, he can just do a skill, and then he'll just, if you have a bunch of attack speed on him, he'll just punch you, right, really quick, and then he will have enough mana to cast again, right? So definitely a nerf. He'll still get freaking used, but definitely a nerf for sure. All right, Jinju, spell power increase, and then her potential ability is increase. Yep. In the case of Jinju, despite being recently released hero, she's been difficult to use effectively in the current meta, where speed is important due to her unique mechanism. Therefore, the goal is to adjust overall stats to make her somewhat more compatible with the current meta. Now, I'm a fan of this. I'm not a fan of their reasoning because they say current meta, and it's just like trying to balance heroes for quote unquote current meta is a little like it. It's just you're bringing man, the freaking King of Castle memes, dude. Like Jinju's not great. All right, and there's a reason why, and they're buffing her, right? And I do like Jinju. Her design is really unique. It needs a little something else. I don't think this is enough to put her back, or to even, like, she wasn't even there, but I don't know if this is enough, basically. And I am not liking the reasoning here, for sure. I do like the buff. I don't like the reasoning. Relic balancing. After the recent user meeting, we conducted a comprehensive review to check relics if they were being used as intended overall. As a result, we are implementing improvements for underperforming relics. However, Piercing Spear, which was mentioned, was not significantly lacking in terms of win rate or usage indicators. We concluded that it has different strengths than Scope. Decided not to make adjustments to Piercing Spear. So a lot of this is like, because of the user this is kind of like their follow-up action items, like, hey, we had that meeting, so this is like our promise to you guys that, hey, we are addressing some of the, we're not lying to you, we're keeping to our word. Like, that is such a, I don't like it, bro. I really don't like it. Because I mean, okay, so there was that Piercing Spear thing that, hey, this is an old relic, it needs changes. I honestly don't I think it holds its own. I think they hit it on the head. They freaking hit it on the head. It's just that players who don't know, I can see their perspective. It's like, oh, it does the same thing, right? Why do it? There is some tactical advantages or reasons why you would use Piercing Spear, and it allows for certain things to happen, right? So I agree with this. I don't exactly agree with their reasoning. The reasoning is like, okay, we are looking at current meta, and then, I'm sorry I have to bring up the meme again, but they're looking at data. It's just whatever, bro. So rapid swords. This was one of the things that that was mentioned, and they're like buffing, right? So they're going back and revisiting relics. I do think rapid swords needs a buff. And they did, so it's good. So they increased 10% for the attack speed, and they added a damage increase to it too, which pretty freaking good, actually. Given the constraint of having deploy multiple identical heroes and considering the relative decrease of value of the attack speed stat compared to before, we are slightly increasing the numbers, adding a damage stat. This is pretty freaking good, bro. I like this. I like this. So good change. I like it. Shield of Gladiator, as Mighty Blocks can now be attained through more diverse routes compared to when the Shield of Gladiator was first released. We are slightly increasing the acquisition amount. So they increased it by, this is by tier, right? This is by tier of the relic, correct? So it's at 7, right? By 2, I mean, that's pretty good. That's pretty good, I'd say, right? It's okay, you know. Elixir, we're slightly increasing the stuff, which is a lower usage rate lower usage rate, bro. Like, yeah, I do agree that it's a lower usage rate, but I don't, do they really have to state the lower usage rate? You know, like, it's just the data, correct? So they increased it by what, 5%? We're looking at the King God levels, right? That's the numbers, right? They like touched it a little bit. It's okay, whatever, bro. Iron Helm team wide, we are slightly increasing it, which has a lower usage rate compared to Blade Crown, another relic related to CC effects. Increased it by 1 second. 6 seconds is, that's quite a bit. 6 seconds of in-game King God Castle time, though I would argue that the length of a King God Castle, like, quote unquote round, has increased, right? In my opinion. I would like to see it increase by 7 seconds. 2 7 seconds, sorry. 2 7 seconds. But I still think it has a place. It's definitely less used, but there's a reason why. There's the reason why Blade Crown is a bit more used. Blade Crown, so they are increasing it to 25%. They did, I don't remember, is this a revert? I think they reverted this. It was higher before, and then they decreased it to make it more viable, and I think this is a revert. Now, I don't remember the previous numbers, but it's 25% now. Damage increase rate, which has the highest this is so dumb, which has the highest pick rate and best statistical performance, we will increase slightly. I'm just like, bro, like, okay, yes, it has a high pick rate, yes, it has a high statistical performance. There's a reason why, okay, and the reason why is because there's a lot of shields, there's a lot of health, and you see this a lot on Sarka. And that's the reason why. Do I think the relic itself needs to get nerfed? I mean, I guess so, but it feels a little bad. The reasoning just feels bad. If I have to read that, oh, because of data, they're doing stuff, it's just like, yeah, come on, bro. Like, because of freaking data, am I right? Okay, so that's it for the relics. Now, my 100,000 per freaking question is relic balancing, right? And you're like, okay, hey, we did a freaking meeting. Oh, okay, we're gonna check if relics were being used as intended overall. So let me ask you, Awesome Piece. What about mercenary contracts? What about Wedge Dagger? What about freaking the gold ring, the greed one, right? The altar relic. That effect sucks. Change the effect. Where mercenary contracts and Wedge Dagger are the two that pops in my mind that needs freaking rework, right? And they need to be addressed. Forever, by the way. Whatever, man. Hero adjustment for Strive. They haven't done this in a while, so they are PRIYA, sure. Ren, sure. Victoria, sure. Sarah, sure. Belina, sure. 10%. That's not gonna do too much. Is this gonna change anything? freaking no. Grand Arena effect adjustment. Oh, this is the Grand Arena buff. Cool. I guess they are adjusting the scores. A lot of this is from the conference. If you guys haven't really caught it, it's like, oh, they're gonna be adjusting this. So before, this is the decay thing. It was just flat 3% decrease. Now it actually scales, right? The Lyca rework preview. So season 48 is gonna be Lyca. You best bet it's gonna be the next probably battle pass skin. Are they gonna do that now next season? So this season the league skin will be done. So Hanzi will be delivered at the end of this one. The next league is going to be season 48. I'm curious if they're going to pull another one on us. I wonder if Lyca is going to get a second battle pass skin, or is he going to be the next Strife, the Battlefield Strife whatever league skin, right, for the next cycle. I'm curious. Fall Festival, here's some stuff you can pay if you freaking want. Scroll Blessing, don't recommend that crap. New Legacy Shenanigan, Immaculacy, and Bloodthirst if you want that. Summoning percentages, Coolio. Here's the new event skin, Red Fort Rin. We got teased this way back when in a dev letter, I believe. It was when they showed like the cooking Inrath and things like that. And now it's here with very choice artwork. Is what I'm gonna say is that is very choice artwork. That is a very choice artwork, boys. I forgot what else was on that list. I did show it in an update video before. This was one of the ones. Was there a right one? I am not sure, but this skin is freaking something. Add hero profiles. Following the order release, Victoria to Mayu's have been added. So all of them are added now, boys. All profiles for all the heroes are added. That's freaking awesome. Now I need to make a video to read every single one of them. I have not read, I've only read like 3. Because I've been waiting on all of them to be released and just check them all out. I kind of want to do that now. That's another video, boys. A bunch of bug fixes. Cool. Now, when using projectile attacks, the Fear Devourer will be applied based on the moment the projectile is fired. That's pretty freaking funny. So, for example, it will apply when it is fired, not when it lands, right? So you can't have the extra damage or whatever have you. New chroma skins for Ophelia, Kierden, Mono, Victoria. All right, and that is it for this update. I am going to be going through the Q&A, so let's bring that up. This is the Q&A, so just, if you guys don't know what this is, AWESOMEPIECE pretty much promised the users, hey, we're going to be doing a face-to-face addressing concerns kind of meeting, and pretty much they kind of didn't want to lie to us, and they kind of want to follow up on that promise. So they did a conference in South Korea, inviting only Korean type of players, right? Because limitations, etc., of course. So only the Korean players were invited to this. So it's a very small sample pool size, and the popularity and player base of this game is very global, I would say. So there's also the issue number 1. First of all, issue number 1, which is only South Korean players, which it is what it is, right? It is what it is. But pretty much they held a conference. It was all in Korean. It was recorded, but it was all in Korean, obviously, and they released the first part of it English transcribed, so you can watch it on the channel. I did cover that first part as well, and a lot of this will kind of rehash the information, but we'll be going through it. I did look through some of the FAQ questions, so we're gonna be going through right now. I didn't really go through this in detail. I'm gonna try not to read all of it, but only the spicy parts, I guess. So here's the Q&A. This is from what I understand, it is from the actual conference. Now there is a portion below which is they are answers to some of the FAQ questions that global users sent in, their concerns, because no global users could be incorporated within this conference. So instead they sent out a questionnaire, and pretty much was hey, here's a questionnaire, send us some questions and we'll try to answer them, basically, right? So this is from their actual Q&A in the conference, not the not the FAQ that the questions that we sent in. So here are some of the things. I did cover some of this, I believe, in my other video, but let's just go through it really quick. So issues to be resolved in the near future. So they are adding some rewards for dismantle. So pretty much these are their action items that they're going to be trying to resolve going forward immediately. This is kind of like, oh, we promise you guys we'll fix it. So that's why I said there are some of the changes in the most recent update that we just went through, right? Season 47, you see some stuff, right? So for example, lower score reduction from Grand Arena Inactivity, they had just addressed it in the patch notes that we just read, right? Expansion accessory slots from 800, isn't it 800? I think it's the cost to get 800. I think it was because like pretty much more accessory slots, right? And then application multiplier to event currency, which they addressed in this recent update. Additional rewards when dismantling, so more rewards when dismantling a legacy, because legacies are pretty hard to get. So when you're dismantling it, you should be able to get some pretty good resources from it, right? Stat checking this lock feature, okay. Additional language preference tags for alliances, okay. Additional league skin profile icons. So I mean, I'm up for it. These are the skins that you get for participating in the league, right? The league kind of skins, and getting a special skin profile icon. Cool, I guess. You know, very superficial problems. Improvements to certain relics, including penetrating spear. We just saw the like what their answer to that was. They did not balance penetrating spear. Instead, they kind of went back and, like, you know, buffed you know, the rapid swords and all this stuff, but not wedge dagger and not mercenary contracts. You know, I'm curious if they are so data driven. I would love to see your data for mercenary contracts and wedge dagger. Okay, all right. But issue resolved within the second half of the year. So pretty much we're living in that second half currently, like we're about to go into it. System related to quick battles and invasion enhancement buffs. Okay, deco system. All right, additional items so you can spend. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of stuff you can purchase already with Arena tokens, to be honest. Disclosure of info on troop formation used by others. Troop formations. I'm going to assume, now granted, I didn't really watch all the second part in Korean. Disclosure of info on troop formations used by other users. I'm very curious. Oh, I think what this is referring to, it could be referring to two things. First, gut feeling is that when you go to like a player and you look at their profile, you can see their team, right? I think this is like, oh, can we go further than that? Like click on their team and then see what accessories they use and stuff like that. I mean, I get why people would like to, but then again, it's that one team that they had selected when you know, it's not useful information, to be honest with you. The other second gut feeling that this is referring to is raid. So like when someone like hitting raid or whatever, people can see what they hit with or whatever when you're not in the alliance or some crap, right? People, okay, sure, whatever. Honestly, this doesn't matter too much, to be honest with you, because but I get it. It's King God Castle. I mean, it is the nature of King God Castle players copying other players. I mean, it's just the nature, right? And whatever. Long-term issues cannot be resolved immediately. Arena friendly battle. That's kind of interesting. But I never thought of this as a big need. Checking skin effects. I promise you, they tried before. I'm curious. I mean, I have a skin playlist of all the skins, so you guys can check it out. But they actually tried to address this, and they did come back with an answer way back when. They were pretty much like, yeah, we looked at it and tried to implement it, and it's not really possible. And the reason why is because if they wanted to include these skin effects in the game, like if they include it as like GIFs or video files or what have you, or I don't know, it's gonna make the game hella large, like very, very freaking big, bro. And that means that the game will have to load more stuff when you open the app. And do you really want a longer load time when you open the app? I don't think so, bro. I don't think you guys want that. So I think that is the trouble that they're using, because the cast of the heroes are growing every freaking time, and there's so many freaking heroes now, including every single skin effect file attached to that it's the file sizes are freaking big, dude. Like, it's gonna take some time to load up. So, and let's be honest, a lot of King of Castle players have potato phones. I'm just putting it out there. So would you really want to look at skin effects in game if it costs you a much longer time to load to get even in the game or load the game? I'll let you guys decide. Linking Android Apple accounts. The Android Apple account thing is super freaking annoying, but it is what it is. Cool. Training dummy practice area, bro. Do you know how long this has been requested? It has been requested for so freaking long, bro. So this is a good request for sure. Q&A on growth. So the Q&A was broken into different like topics. So these were the topics. So growth and economic. Oh, now we are getting into some long freaking questions, bro. Let me skim this currently. Some of this I care about, some of these I don't. These were questions based on the players that were there. So let's see. Players first, quickly level up single hero and gather backup heroes. Following select few heroes strategy. Are there any plans to change the meta? So currently, so basically, this question is addressing like when you start off, you do invasion. And you are kind of pigeonholed, and invasion is think of backup heroes, one carry, right? And this is asking about, hey, that meta, or you want to change it? So invasion serves both challenge to progress through. Let's go for the important stuff. We do not even have immediate plans to change this. Instead, we'll make every effort to ensure that developing multiple heroes other than the backup heroes are meaningful throughout other content, which is the case, right? Like this complaint, so to speak, I get is warranted, but hero lock doesn't really work in other modes. It's only in invasion, right? But to some players, invasion is the mode. Like, it's the mode that they only play. I mean, that's a lot of people what they do kind of play, right? You have to kind of play it to farm gold, right? And it's the whole thing. So invasion is the main story mode. It is the main mode to a lot of players, and they're like, oh, I have to use backup hero with one carry, right? So I get it, it's warranted. But they were pretty much like, hey, we don't have immediate plans to change this, and pretty much just get your fix in other modes is pretty much their answer. I don't feel any way about this. I think it's fine, to be honest with you. There are plenty of other moves that have much different strategies and things like that. It's just invasion. It's always been that thing, and it's only really focused on invasion, like the backup hero with one solo carry or whatever. It would be nice to be able to do other stuff. It's just the way invasion is kind of like designed and things like that. It's just kind of happened like that, right? So I would have a much more problem with this if multiple modes have this issue. Like if hero lock was applied to like everything else or a lot of modes, right? But since you only really feel it in invasion, I think I'm okay with it, because it's kind of like an invasion mode identity at this point, correct? And this freaking thing is too long, bro. I need to keep it short. I'm not gonna answer all of them. Let's just skim some of this. Are there any plans to expand hero levels? So basically, add any plans, ultimate abilities through levels. So basically, another second awakening. Let's see. Let's skim through some important stuff. Once we believe players are fully enjoyed these, we plan to introduce new content for growth. When we introduce this new content, we will consider a second awakening or ultimate abilities. We are gathering user feedback through official channels. If you have suggestions, preferences, etc., etc. So they are considering it. But once we believe players have fully enjoyed these, I think we fully enjoyed them, bro. I think we fully enjoyed them. And I'm going to say that they say this because they don't think it's enough currently. And it's based on, you guys know what I'm going to say, data. I personally think we have fully enjoyed the current awakenings. I'm just saying, bro. All right, why doesn't supply multiplier apply to event tokens? We will aim to apply this by next season or the latest the season after that. So eventually, okay, eventually. I don't want to go too. Oh man, that's a big long freaking text, bro. Let's see. I created a new account. The most common issue was lack of supplies and gold. Bro, this question is so freaking long. I don't know if I want to read this. Pretty much unfriendly for newbies is what I'm getting, right? Am I getting that right, guys? A little bit unfriendly to newbies because you need so many resources. Basically, we're constantly thinking about how to help new returning players. Not easy. We release legacies and accessories to ensure that existing players are required to use separate currencies. In the future, we plan to provide significantly more of everything, which is essential for leveling up heroes. We are considering various options, such as increasing overall gain, improving acquisition through Dominion and other methods. Gradually ease the difficulty of relics and forging. I mean, okay. The days of actually really hard to get a max perfect relic is pretty much gone. It's pretty easy, relatively easy to get a perfect relic now. Not many people remember the good old days of really hard, actually true pay to win relic forging, like actually true pay to win. And it was around the time when you couldn't even buy magical forge stones. It wasn't even a shop. You couldn't even like throw money at the screen to get enough. Like that was how rare it was. It wasn't in rotation. And then eventually they added it to the money store or whatever. You can buy it for real money. I'm like, all right, okay, bro, right? It was before that, and I got perfect relic, a perfect relic before that even happened, right? And it was, you thought it was bad now. You thought it was bad now. It was really bad before. But just it kind of exponentially got worse, right? Just overall. But we are considering adding tutorials, providing guide quests to, what I want for new players. You know how in every gacha game there's like dailies, right? Like even if you're like, okay, I'm gonna take a break, but you like logged in just to do your dailies so you can rack up stuff, right? I bring up Honkai because Star Rail, because that's like a game I played that I can really relate to of recent. But like you log in, you do your dailies, and the dailies you get like the primo gems or whatever the crap it was, right? And then you can use that to do pulls, right? What if, because right now there's not really great dailies, to be honest. Like you get scrolls and stuff, cool, right? What if your dailies that come in give me dailies, like 5 of them or something, that give me the legacy pull currency, right? And then I'm super incentivized to log in, do my dailies, get all of the legacy currency or whatever, and then I can rack up, and then boom, do my pulls for legacy pulls, right? Like right now, the quest system and stuff like suck. They give you like gold. I don't want to see no freaking gold. I get the whole thing about like them wanting to separate the currencies and crap. Like screw that, bro. Whatever, man. Like for I want to see dailies that actually mean something. I don't want to see gold. I don't want to see freaking book of XP. I don't want to see cubes. I don't want to see none of that. I don't want to see any of that. Like give me quests that gives me the freaking legacy like stuff, right? And allow me to log in every day, do all my 5 daily quests or something, rack those up, and then like say there's a good banner that's out or something, then I can like dump everything that I've gotten into that legacy banner, right? And I think quest is just the way to go. Give me meaningful dailies that don't just give me 800 gold or some crap. Like the value that like King's tokens and all of that, I get it. New players they struggle with this a lot, but like I'm so tired of seeing the value of gold, the value of King's tokens so freaking high. Like it's so high, it's crazy. So give me like meaningful daily rewards that give me some good stuff, right? So that's my take. Scrolls are useless for max level players. Why don't you create content where you can use them? Oh yeah, I got so many scrolls. We understand that it may be disappointing, but we kindly ask you to use any accumulated currency that you no longer need for exchange. So basically, not gonna change. Our intention for you is to use Dominion, Alchemy, and Commerce to convert scrolls. Can you even do that? I don't freaking know. Interesting. The sources for obtaining legacy ores are limited. Are there any plans to increase these sources? This is the thing that you feed legacies to level them up, right? They're pretty rare. So for now, the legacy, yeah. While it is challenging to provide regular sources for obtaining legacy ores, we plan to include them as a one-time reward per account in the revamped, one-time reward per account in the revamped Tower Trials. We will also continue to closely monitor the shortage of currency of enhancing legacy. So basically they're saying, not really. Like, this is like once, probably here what they're referring to is like the one-time reward is probably every season or something, right? Which is not a lot. It's not a lot, boys. Will legacies be released for all heroes? Yes, legacy will be released all heroes. However, currently we are releasing legacies for rework heroes every 2 seasons. If necessary, we're considering preparing legacies separately for heroes who are not planning to receive reworks. So yes, right? Yes. Do you have any plans to release a subscription for legacy stones similar to those? So basically, are you releasing a subscription? So pay money to get like a steady legacy summoning stone income. Are you going to provide that? Unlike this, we believe that legacy summoning stones are more suitable for immediate use after purchase rather than periodic supply, which is why not. So instead, a suitable amount of legacy stone tokens have been included as rewards for the battle pass. So no subscription, which is a kind of funny thing because it's like, hey, can we buy more stuff to get legacy stones? Like how like this question is freaking insane, bro. Many heroes have it. By the way, this is asked by, I'm pretty sure, asked by the Korean players who were invited to the conference. These are all the questions that are from that. I'm pretty freaking sure, because it's kind of broken down in that category. Many heroes have been added so far. Are there any plans to add a tab showing recommended legacies or so pretty much suggested setups, right? We are aware that increasing variety amount of content have made strategies more difficult. We will possibly consider ways to provide recommended setups. So we will think about it, right? I think recommended setups, they definitely have the freaking data for it. That's for freaking sure, you know, like freaking data queens over here. I think it'd be cool. It'd be really nice for new players because one of the things that a lot of newer players struggle with is like, oh, what kind of builds what do I use? What do I use? And things like that. So it'd be really awesome to have like a recommended tab, like a recommended setup. To kind of go by, right? Even though it might not be the best, but it's to point them in the right direction. I think that this is a really good question. Currently, the stance on accessories are designed to be difficult to set. Are there any plans to add a system to make this easier? So I am of the camp on accessories where you are not meant to get a quote-unquote perfect accessories. It's just, as a King of Castle player, it's always been the fact of like, max immediately. Like, we are in an era where we're so used to max immediately and getting perfect relics immediately. If you can't get it within a week, it's garbage, you know? And they definitely designed it to be like, hey, this will take some time to get like a perfect set, right? And obviously that doesn't really sit well with a lot of players, right? So since this is not released long ago, its current format will be maintained for the rest of the year. After this, if many players find it difficult to progress with the current method of attaining accessories, we will plan to add a new system. So basically, they'll pretty much make it to a point where it's a bit easier to kind of get the stats you want, right? Cool. Are there any plans to obtain transcending legacies easier? It feels like having okay, for this widens the gap, sure. If I would like to ask if there are any plans to develop exclusive content for obtaining blah 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 blah. As a free-to-play player, it is very difficult to keep up with paying players due to legacies. Currently regular resources, yada yada yada. Additionally, we provide, all right, while we do not have plans to develop exclusive content specifically for summoning legacies, we plan to revamp the Tower of Trials to allow new players to obtain legacy summoning stones as a one-time reward, similar to what other games might call a mine. It's still not going to be enough. I will tell you right now, it is not going to be enough. What we are wanting for legacy summoning stones acquisition, this ain't gonna cut it, boys. This ain't gonna cut it. Not gonna cut it. So the overall growth system in KGC include these. Currently, we see two elements that take the longest for non-paying players as the forging of relics and legacies. We believe the current state strikes a balance between accelerating growth through monetary investment and allowing growth over time without spending. Some players may feel that the extent to which they can become stronger through spending is insufficient, while others may feel like it takes too much time without spending. The development team will strive to maintain an appropriate balance between these two aspects. They TLDR, they understand data. They understand data will keep track of it. And we're trying to do stuff and as a one-time reward, and hopefully you guys will be happy. TLDR, that ain't gonna work, bro. That's not gonna work. We need more. There is a big gap in resource requirement between users. Is there any plan to make it possible for whoever already made all their heroes max level to utilize the same method? Although we have been aware of this utilizing alchemy, since users who understand well about the mechanisms of alchemy and utilizing the method as their strategy, it was difficult for us to decide how to deal with it. As you suggested, we will make the resource acquiring amounts equal for those who use the method and those who don't. So pretty much finagling the alchemy system. So basically they're just gonna adjust a little bit, right? So, whatever. There are more problems, bro. There are bigger problems to solve. Least of my concerns, to be honest. There seems to be a tendency that beginner users who purchase the pass are more likely to stay. Is there any plans to release a new pass product that comes with less benefits for a lower price? We also consider many improvements for the pass. However, we like to keep the pass in a category distinguished from a hooking product, as the pass should play a role to support the overall growth rather than being just a hooking product in the current state. As for the pass product with a lower price that was suggested, we will try to add a new product like a beginner pass when we work on the reorganization of beginner missions. I mean, beginner missions are cool. Beginner pass, nah, I don't know about beginner pass, bro. I really don't know about the beginner pass. It's like, hey, we're gonna put more things that the user is able to purchase with real money right off the get-go. I don't think it's a great look. I really don't. Because imagine a new player playing and then you have 10,000. I hate it when 10,000 things pop up and it's like, hey, you can get this for $6.99, right? It's always been kind of you have to kind of get to that screen to have I don't want a King God Castle where when I log in there's a bunch of different buttons and it's like, hey, you can get a beginner pass for $4.99 or you can get the pass for $6.99 and then guess what, here's a god skin for $40. I really don't want to just shove less of we really need less monetization things in our face, to be honest with you. I don't really agree with a beginner pass, to be honest. I think having one pass is just enough, bro. Questions on Invasion Expedition Great Rift. Many players in the community find Great Rift enjoyable. Hasn't been seen there. Yeah, man, I don't remember the last time they updated freaking Great Rift. That is a very good question. Are they have any plans? Are they plans to change the rewards? Great Rift does not reflect certain specs and focuses on the fun of the mode. Therefore, it requires less maintenance compared to other content. Okay. As for the rewards, while some players find it enjoyable, it is indeed quite different. Therefore, we reconsider the rewards to make farming in Great Rift as rewarding as other modes. It might force players to play the Great Rift, which is not what the development team intends. if we reconsider. For these reasons, it is true that it is currently no special update plans for the Great Rift beyond the additional altar that has been. Oh yeah, the Death Altar. Once we have refined all the other content, that is our goal for the second. We may consider. So, Great Rift fans. I'm a Great Rift fan. I don't remember the last time I played Great Rift. It's because like I got the most out of it already, and it's just like. I played it so much that it has actually gotten a little boring. Now, like when a new hero comes out, I kind of like playing the run through the new hero through it just to like have fun. It is like a fun mode now to just kind of like go in. But like, you know, you get to a point where you get all the achievements, and all the achievements left is Tycoon. You guys know about Tycoon. Tycoon, and then you have like, hey, you have to beat especially like the newer bosses, the dragon and the eyeball guy, right? You have to beat those bosses like whatever 100 times or whatever, right? Because they came later, so you know how it works. So pretty much sad news. They say it right here, no plans to update Great Rift, and once they're done with all their goals, they may reconsider, right? Which means no, pretty much, until something comes up. So pretty much they're like, hey, like, you know, if you guys are unfamiliar, the devs, this mode was designed as a separate thing entirely. They wanted to keep it separate. They wanted to keep it separate. Do you guys remember when your barracks did not reflect anything at all in Great Rift? And there was a bunch of complaints, and then they added it to where there was some synergy where, hey, if you have a hero awaken in your actual barracks, you'll have your awakening ability unlocked from the get-go in Great Rift. That was their answer to, hey, let's try to like marry these and link these somehow, but they are still 100% keeping it two different freaking things for freaking sure. So unfortunate, freaking unfortunate, bro. Freaking unfortunate. So pretty much like, hey, we don't see any problem right now, and we have bigger fish to fry. I'm sorry, Great Rift players. We're gonna throw you under the bus. I'm sorry. And pretty much that is the case, unfortunately. Are there any plans to make changes to training dummy? No plans for that either. Cool. The current expedition mode has become too easy. Are there any plans to add new difficulty or levels or adjustment? They did address this. In the initial intent of expedition mode was to provide a fresh experience with a new type of mode. Rather, the current expedition mode has become one where you just play and clear it, turning into a rather unexciting mode where you consume flags daily for rewards. Yes. I have like 700 to 800 flags, bro. Accumulating. As our goal for the second half of the year is to supplement and maintain existing content, we will also revamp Expedition Mode to stay true to its original objectives, which is to provide a fresh experience with a new type of mode. So, with this wording, because we know that they're revamping it, we just don't know what. So, based on the wording, they wanted to make a new type of mode. It will still run on the flag system 100%. I'm pretty sure, because there's no reason to change it. So it's gonna still run on the flag system, and it's probably gonna be a different mode, a different feel than what you get from the rest of the game, basically, right? And that's all we know. I'm excited. Just let me keep my flags, please. Awesome piece. Let me keep my flags. Q&A battle balancing. It seems that the roles and usage of hero classes and their regions or origin are still limited. Are there any plans to increase their significance? Currently, class regions to primarily serve as categorized and group heroes. That's exactly how I feel. So, hero classes now have added role of sharing legacies. In the revamped Tower of Charles, regions or origin may become slightly more important than they are now, but their significance will not increase drastically. For now, you can consider regions of origin to be more of a lore element. Now, they added the whole region and the classes or whatever to kind of like categorize them and group heroes, and they literally outright said it. Hey, it was just for organization, bro. And then when they introduced legacies and stuff, it's like, hey, let's do it by, you know, when they were designing legacies, they're like, hey, let's do it by these groupings now that we have these groupings, we can like actually apply things to these groupings, right? And that it does make, because of that line of logic, it makes it feel limited and not really well thought out, right? Like, it's not like they did the classes and regions with at that time intentions of designing it around in a bit more bigger picture, right? They did not do that. It seems that they just did it for organization purposes, and then as they were adding things like legacies and things, okay, let's attach it to XYZ now, like, and play with it, right? It's like one step at a time and not really thinking like 3 steps ahead type thing, which is unfortunate. But there is some disconnect with classes and regions, and that kind of ties with the lore and all this junk, right? So hopefully they'll flesh that out more. Man, this is getting long, bro. This is a lot. This is a lot, bro. This video is gonna be so long. Are there any plans to rework old heroes whose awakening abilities are useless? So basically useless awakening abilities, which there are a lot of old ones. Currently, reworks are conducted every 2 seasons. We reworked Hanzi in season 46. Cool. All right. In season 46 balancing, yep. Changing ability if necessary can be part of balance. I see. For those that do not require full rework, we are considering changing only their awakening abilities. Please. Yes. We implement reworks when the initial intent or direction of a hero no longer aligns with the current state of the game. No longer aligns with the current state of the game. The approach is incorrect. So you're telling me like, oh, quote unquote, the meta per the data. If it doesn't align it anymore, that's when we make changes. It's like, come on, man. Come on, bro. And for those of you guys, I don't know I know the question about Daniel was in the video. Somebody asked about Daniel. I wonder if it's in here. We'll see. With release of new chapters, some heroes are completely useless. Do you plans to address this? Currently, there are 57 heroes. I think the AB, maybe it is some FAQ questions. I'm not sure. Rather than releasing new heroes, we would prefer reworks or stat adjustments of a useless hero. Do developers regularly check the usage rates underlies heroes? Does not aim to balance all heroes to be equal in all content. Yeah, I mean, of course, that's stupid, right? There it is. We analyze various metrics, including hero usage rates, clear rates, win rates, average rankings for Strive. Whatever, bro. The data, am I right? The freaking data, bro. Just play the game. Just have someone play the game, man. Like, can you just not look at data for a sec? I mean, I get data is fine, right? Like, but can you please, instead of looking at data, can you like be a fan of the game too and like play it for yourself? You know, like actually play the game. You know, like play the Strife, play the Great Rift, play Raid. You know, actually play the game. Instead of looking at data, please. Additionally, if you check usage heroes by beginners and as backup, you'll find that significantly more heroes are being used than you might normally think. Boom. Freaking mind blown. Mind blown. In reality, most players in King Arc Castle tend to focus on specific content rather than enjoying all content equally. That's also true. This may lead to dissatisfaction regarding number of and strength of heroes being utilized. That is also true. The perspective does get skewed. However, we want to emphasize that the dev team prioritizes overall game balance. Good statement, okay? Good statement. I give you a lot of crap, but good statement. Second, there are often discrepancies between general opinions and actual data. For example, a hero that is not considered OP by top tier players may have an overwhelming win rate in tiers below King. In such cases, we proceed with a nerf. Top tier players often feel that the nerf is excessive. Okay. Additionally, a recent example, Hanzi, while we understand the moving certain characteristics to eliminate weaknesses can be a concern. Most opinions were that Hanzi was not performing well despite the actual win rates. I think Hanzi's pretty good now. But okay. Similar to the first point, dev team considers different stuff. Okay, previously, this is a long answer, bro. This is Sargala's legacy was too strong just before release, but after its release is deemed to be appropriate level. You see, we understand our balancing decisions and the rationale behind them may not always be clear to players, leading to confusion. We will consider how we can share more data in the future to address this issue. just play the game. You know, I wish the feeling, I mean, they may have, but clear, it doesn't really come across, okay? To be fair, they could be playing their own game. You know, there's always that meme. You know, I don't doubt that they booted up at least. But I would like developers who like are actual, not only develop the devs of the game, but they also like love and are passionate and are players of the game, right? They're in it, right? And not just some guy at the top looking at data making decisions. That's always been the vibe that we get from the dev team for sure. We mentioned the points to explain there's a gap between the understanding between the players and the dev team regarding balance issues. The dev team is aware of this gap and is not easy to resolve. Under this premise, we explain how we plan to adjust the balance between the current heroes and the future. Okay. We will be more proactive in changing and balancing awakening abilities. Freaking about time, dude. Like, about time. How long did it take? How long? How long, Awesome Piece? Additionally, with each chapter or hero rework, we plan to introduce new accessory sets and legacies. Following the recent added adamant for a set of tanks, we were preparing a set of damage dealers who have been somewhat underutilized. I imagine is going to be spell power, right? A spell power set. The legacies will also be designed to maximize strength and compensate for the weakness of heroes, aiming to minimize the disparity between their high and low performance. From an overall balancing perspective, okay, in other words, sure. We primarily consider diversifying competitive content. Okay. All right. I think. Oh man, this is so much reading, dude. This is so much reading. There are many aspects I see in the updates that made me wonder if the devs are actually playing. This is pretty freaking funny because this is literally what I was just saying. There are many aspects that I see in the updates that make me wonder if the devs actually play the game. Do developers actually play the game when balancing it? I'm curious if you actually test when creating like accessories and legacies. Ooh, this is a spicy question. I have not read this. I am excited. This may seem like an excuse, but we would like to provide a bit more explanation following the above question about hero balance. The following explanation outlines the area we believe are perceived as are unbalanced in the dev team's thoughts on why these issues occur. There are instances where balancing is done with a focus on specific areas only. Similarly, new heroes designed with Alliance heroes in mind might seem useless to Strive Battlefield players. Conversely, there are cases where the overall usage rate is not bad and the heroes are reasonably used across various content. In such cases, buffing or nerfing them could cause overall issues. Okay. In such cases, many players might say that the buff was insignificant. Additionally, there are cases where the statistics show very high numbers, but players do not mention them. There are also cases where a hero is statistically as good as others, but lacks practical use due to its mechanics, or where it's difficult to buff a hero beyond a certain point because its role is already well defined. In addition to the above answer regarding hero balance, we would like to say that the dev team has its own principles and direction for balancing. Moving forward, it is important to ensure stricter balancing to create a platform where we can share our intentions and results in more detail. Additionally, we cannot disclose the castles or king names of the moderators. Rest assured that they do play King God Castle. Particularly, the balance team members are playing very diligently. Besides the planning team, other members, including those from operations, QA, and dev unit, also play King God Castle. Additionally, many have achieved very high tiers. AWESOMEPIECE, aside from a small number of internally distributed coupons, employees play the game with their own money, just like regular players. Furthermore, it goes without saying that achieving high tiers is considered a plus during the hiring process for the KGC dev team. We would like to take into account of the opinions of those who primarily play the relevant content. We also heavily consider feedback provided by players in the community. Feel free to share your opinions anytime. We continue. It's just blanket statement, boys. Blanket freaking statement. That's pretty freaking funny. That's funny. I have no words. I have no freaking words. They really I don't know. Did it seem kind of redirecting to me? They're just like, yeah, we have players that play it. Cool. Cool, man. But I mean, I get it. There are a lot of cooks in the kitchen. There are a lot of players who are at different various of levels, different perspectives. Like they hit it. They hit the nail on the coffin when they said a player who singly focused on raid has a much different perspective and opinion on someone who plays Strife all the time, or Arena all the time, or play Great Rift a lot, or someone who plays all of it, right, and considers all of it, or play only Invasion. I don't know, like depending on what your passion is in the game, whatever, however, like you play what you guys like. Okay, I'm not hating on anyone who plays freaking Invasion or Arena or what have you. There are different perspectives in the game. Whether you believe that your mode is the end all be all, or the best of the best, or like the true in game, that's you, bro. Okay, that's you. You know, but that doesn't really necessarily give you like a reason why to hate everyone else or think you're all the bee's knees when players are not playing your mode. Like they're not playing Great Rift. That is the best mode ever. If you don't play Great Rift, what, you suck. Right? There are a lot of different perspectives in the game, just like my own. I have a different perspective of the game too, and I respect everyone's perspective. I get it. I freaking get it. A new player and an old player perspective is much different, bro. And that's the beauty of King God Castle. So yeah, they can say this. I honestly don't think the people who are in charge of making those balances, they need to play more King God Castle. I'm just saying. I get that data driven decisions are a thing. I get it. But there's a track record of those changes not feeling like, hey, you don't really, do you even play King God Castle? You know? So I'm just saying, yeah, you can say this, but there feels like there's a disconnect. And there's a player here where I don't know who asked it. They're like, hey, right, like there seems to be a disconnect. Why is this? And they were pretty much like okay, let's talk about like why we make these changes and are data driven, right? Like the question is, hey, there just feels like a disconnect. Why is that, right? And they're like, hey, this might seem like an excuse, like data driven stuff, right? And it's just like, hey, let's do better. I don't like, regardless of hey, whether you play the game or not, you do data driven like changes, and you do collaborate with the people on your team who play King God Castle. Like, hey, like these guys actually do play and they get high tier rankings or what have you. I don't freaking care, but it's like, hey, yeah, sorry, we're gonna be making a better effort into trying to seem like that there is not much of a connectivity, right? So like, I don't know, man. Not a great answer. Not a great answer. Is it possible to provide a specific direction to resolving balance issues between early game units like Lyca, Hanzi, Alberon? I see. So like basically OG heroes and like the new gen, right? I mean, easy, right? There's different design philosophies, different time, different state of the game, bro. That's why the reworks happen. So they kind of gave Hanzi's rework, adjusting this, blah blah blah. While it wasn't that she had no use before, her performance above average. Like I agree, she was going downtrend. She needed a rework. Just depending on your perspective of the hero, a lot of like you could ask a player and be like, hey, do you think Hanzi is amazing? Like Hanzi is a popular freaking hero, and they'd be like, Hanzi is amazing. You would be surprised how many players before her rework was like, Hanzi's freaking amazing. She's S tier. What are you talking about, right? Like perspective. It's all about perspective. Where you are in the game. What do you prioritize? Like to that player, she was S tier, right? So I get it. So during this process, okay, yeah, additionally, considering that the update labeled as a rework did not meet the expected performance, we will continue to make additional balance adjustments. So there's a lot of thing with the Hanzi rework where it was like, it was more of a lateral, like slightly improvement move rather than like making her OP. Like people want to see her like kind of OP. And we didn't really see that with it, but I think she is better now. She's better, but I do agree that it wasn't like it needs to feel like a rework, right? Whereas it didn't feel like a rework. It felt like, hey, they just tweaked some numbers or something, right? So I get it. Hybrid heroes, okay. So Sacramentum, right? So unfortunate incident with Sac. We are concerned that adding new legacies too quickly could rapidly devalue existing ones. Therefore, we are adjusting the timing of these additions. New legacies that offer more effective for single stat heroes rather than hybrid heroes. So there's that. In Stripe Battlefield, there's the heat. Players have been dealing with this pretty much the Stripe meta, right? Basically, who asked this question? This is so dumb. Anyway, the meta of Strife, all right, and how it is, and the heat, and why mighty blocks are so strong, and why the meta is what it is right now, which is a lot of bloodstained sword mighty block meta, right? We are aware of the situation where there is no solution other than using mighty block. We made several eternal attempts. Try to do a bunch of stuff. Tried. Currently, value of mighty block is being adjusted based on Stripe Battlefield, and we acknowledge that its value is relatively lower in other modes. It's a work in progress. Do you remember when they're like, hey, we're optimizing Stripe Battlefield and we will keep on doing that? And guess what? They are still doing that. It still feels like Strife is in beta mode. Basically, yes, this is the meta. I don't see it changing anytime soon. But eventually they're trying to address it. But yes, that is the meta. If you don't like it, don't play it. Don't like it, don't play it. Competitive content. What am I reading? Raid, too easy. Yes, one shots and difficulty, stuff like that. They try to do the HP thing, individual raid, preparing a system to separate the clearing aspect from the competitive aspect, as there's a risk of affecting clear rewards. Can we just delete this from the face of the earth? Why does this exist? Can you tell me why this exists? It is useless. So freaking useless. Why does it exist? Please just throw it away. Current rewards for competitive changes have not changed since release, making them too meager and simple currency rewards. Okay. Current rewards for in-game content like raid feel insufficient. Yes, this has been like this for the inception of raid. Been a long-term problem. Although increased difficulty has decreased, there is significant disparity in raid scores between alliances. For alliance raids, it's necessary to provide banners or frames to improve. So basically, more permanent rewards, which is something that I've always said since the beginning of freaking time. But currently, KGC offers variety content, and when you total rewards, blah blah blah. Furthermore, we provide a certain amount. Okay. However, we are concerned about the diminishing significance of playing. Raid mode is so freaking useless, bro. So freaking useless. Recently, we introduced league system. Sure. This needs to change. The second half crap. Addition to K. Okay, we are preparing to add another cosmetic reward to raid in the future. Currently, there are cosmetics we can offer our limited banners and profile icons. So we are planning to introduce new cosmetic content such as map skins. Map skins for raid? Map skins. Color me interested. Color me interested. I'm going to assume that you can get it in individual or alliance raid. It might be like a double thing. I'm going to assume that you're going to do that. So like if you want to do individual, then you can get these two. You don't need to be in like a top alliance or whatever, an alliance that does raid religiously to get a map skin. So whereas you can do it in individual raid, right? But individual raid is correlated to like a high ranking, freaking alliance or whatever. So there is some like connectivity there, but I best believe is probably going to be connected to individual raid and alliance raid. Map skins, huh? That is interesting. We believe that improving content of alliance raids and individual raids is a priority, so we plan to make competition more enjoyable. Whatever. Current strat bots are copying decks. Yes, this is a very big problem. Decided to weaken bots. In the long term, we will consider adjusting bot matchmaking logic for top tier players, even if it results in slightly longer matchmaking times. Bots are a problem, dude. Bots are a problem. It is not the end. Oh, we're getting to the end, boys. I guess I think this includes the FAQ from the global FAQ list, I guess, and they tried to like put it together in a certain way, because I don't think this is all the questions. I don't think these are all from that video, the second part. I could be wrong. I'm curious if it's possible to permanently ban specific characters. Freaking ban. We are not considering permanent bans. Makes sense. Would it be possible to reveal ranking decks to prevent information isolation, similar to evasion ranking? As mentioned in the above talk about balance, we consider whether sharing some level of data with players would be a desirable direction. During the rework of Arena and Alliance Raid mentioned in the roadmap, we will aim to disclose an appropriate level of data. Cool. I mean, players like to see what other players are using, right? It's just the nature of King of Castle. You copy other people's like deck and what they use and all that stuff. It is the nature of it do be how it do in King of Castle. Q&A on skins and story. Are there any plans to expand the game's universe? Will there be more stories, info about the heroes released in the future? Where did the region's lore come from? Somewhat established. Great Rift openings. We will complete all profiles soon, which they have completed them all as of the latest season. Awesome Checks, who conceived the initial game's lore, has incorporated various references. As content has been developed, many additional lore have been added. We are open to the possibility of a future revision to gather them and correct any issues or mistakes. Oh, this is so... Okay, boys. We're getting to it. Will the next God skin also be released as a first-time only offer? For players who start late, there's no way to obtain it. Are there any plans to improve this? Is there a specific criterion for selecting which heroes will receive God skins? Bro, this is such... Okay. Although the dev team initially stated that it will be first time only. It was, by the way, if you guys don't know what this is, these are the God skins, the Mel one, and the Ren one, and the Zalbai one. They were released as, the discounted price was $40, right? Or was it 30? I don't remember. Very expensive. And they announce that these are first time only, won't be coming back. Okay, just FYIs for some context. So initially stated that it would be first time only offer. We have received many requests regarding this issue. So basically a bunch of players are complaining, getting FOMO. It was pretty much what happened when Battle Pass skins were introduced, and then you could not get those, by the way. So like for the Devil Mel one or whatever, the Demon Mel one for the Battle Pass, like when I started, it was like, dang, I missed out on that skin. I'm so freaking jealous. And then eventually they're like, a lot of players were requesting to bring them back and things like that and such. And then eventually they made it to where they put it in through the event shop for gyms, and that's how that got started, right? So now players are requesting, hey, I want that God skin. How can I get it? And it's been 2 years since the Mel skin release, and we are reconsidering it. What? However, retracting our initial statement is entirely our fault. We will consider how to compensate or satisfy those who purchased the skin initially. Besides compensation, we will also consider measures to provide purchase opportunities to new players who join after the initial release. Since God tier skins are rare, we do select heroes that many players like. To elaborate on the process, we choose a concept comparable to the previous God tier skins, and then select the hero that fits best. Bro, this is stupid. No. No. No, 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 no. No, no, no. Retracting our initial statement is entirely our fault. No, 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 no. It is not entirely your fault. If you retract your statement, that means you lied to us. That is a lie to your consumer. You guys stated that it is first time only. And many players, but like I'm happy to buy it, right? So obviously I get it. There's some entitlement in there and things like that, but the initial pitch was, hey, these are not coming back, bro. These are not coming back. You better get it. Many players didn't want to miss out, so they bought it. Now, if they were like, hey, this will come back and possibly come back in rotation, you best freaking believe many players will not have bought it. So they said that it was first time only. Now you're trying to retract that? That's a lie. That is not even like, oh, it's our fault. I'm sorry. No, it is. You lied to us, right? No. Besides, I don't care about compensation. No. Satisfy those. Nope. I am 100,000% against this crap. What I'm okay with is that go with the battle pass skin route. Give Mel another god tier skin. And then have that I would like to be the statement to be, hey, we are going to, from now on, from this point forward, it will be able to get, it won't be first time only. Like I would rather them say, hey, from now on, all god tier skins, they can come back in another way. Not first time only. But to keep our promise and not lie to our consumers, the first 3 god tier skins, we promised them it was going to be first time only. So those will not be back. But from now on, they will be. Okay? That's how you should do it. Do not or re-release one of a different color. You need to do something different. You said first time skin only, and it should be first time. I'm going to leave it at that, bro. This is super whack. I hate this. No. There is no way. I am not satisfied or compensate. No. Nope. I hate it. Nope. Freaking King of Castle. The illustrations based on skin rarity haven't. By the way, I'm gonna come back to this freaking crap. I hate it when they're like, hey, this is going to be first time only. And then later down the line, I don't care if it's 5 years or whatever, they're like, we did promise that it was we did say that it was going to be first time only, but so many players want it. So we're just going to retract that and we're going to bring it back, even though we said it was first time only. It's just a smack in the face, bro. It's a lie to your consumer. Especially, this is not just for event tokens, right? People paid $40 for this, and there is nothing that you can compensate or satisfy us. I mean, I imagine people who got this skin feels a similar way. Just saying. I'm down for you guys to make the from now on statement. The god tier skins could come back, but those first 3 that came out should be not coming back, because it shouldn't. Because you said it was first time only, and people paid a lot of money for it. So, illustration based on skin rarity has been added and planned. Yes, expect them. We apologize for the delay. Artwork. Artwork. Is there a possibility of second? Yes. Introduced next season, right? So PRIYA just got another one. Are there any plans to introduce voice acting? Ooh, not a small task, and since the in-game pace of King of Castles is very fast, we currently have no plans for it. Yeah, it would be very hard to do voices to the heroes for sure, because they would have to do a Korean one and then an English one, and I imagine they would not go past that, right? So I don't see voices being added at all. There are, if you guys know, there is some voice effects You know, like I think who was it? Was it Tayson? Like there's actually like voice like huh, you know, like sound effects, right? Not actual voices saying like lines of dialogue, but like some some sounds, right? Very interesting. All right, we are nearing the end, boys. This video is so freaking long. Oh, other Q&A. Okay, I guess this is part of the FAQ of or the Q&A of the conference. The region icons are quite unique and beautiful. Are there any plans to add new banners using design elements? Take consideration we consider as okay, cool question, bro. Other Q&A. So these, I wonder if this is from the questions kind of like that are interesting, taken from the survey. I'm curious. What they didn't add here. Okay, so someone asked about Daniel. I do remember watching the video, and that was one of the questions I remember. Someone was like, hey, Daniel, is he on the horizon for a rework? And they were pretty much like, yeah, we are thinking about reworking Daniel, but the thing is, like, they've made it clear, right? They made it clear that their rework was like, hey, if their function and vision doesn't fit anymore, then we're gonna completely remake revamp him or whatever. But they're like, yeah, like Daniel has always been like a side character, and he's never been in the forefront. He's like that good brother who like got your back, and he kind of fits that role, right? Like his vision or his feel, his vibe fits that thing where like, oh, he's not in the limelight, right? He's not gonna be the carry. He's gonna be like that supportive guy in the background. And they were like, yeah, we kind of struggle with his changes and things like that, but he's on. Like, I think they were like, it's been a while since I watched that video, but they're like pretty much until we figure out what to do with him, then we will put him on the list or next to revamp him, right? So TLDR, I don't think we will be seeing a Daniel rework anytime soon, even though everyone wants it. Everyone wants it, but the thing is, their philosophy in reworking a hero, definitely not that kind of that direction for sure. Like, it's like, hey, if this character fits that vibe and style, like he's not supposed to really be in the limelight, and he's not in the limelight now, but like he used to be an arena guy. I think someone like they even mentioned him being really good in arena, right? Which that is correct. That is correct. That is valid. He was S tier arena round 1 hero way back in the day. That is also true. And they're like, yeah, like he fits that role. He's not in the limelight. He's a supportive guy. You don't really think about him. I'm just like, yeah, but he needs to be better. He really needs to be better. Okay, other Q&A, man. We are wrapping it up. Now, there is a last question on here. It is the last question on this whole page. And it was the only one that really struck me. And it hit me deep. It really hit me deep. And it kind of made me depressed. Low key made me depressed. We'll get to it. Are there any plans to add a friend code invite system? We think it's a good system. However, like other content, it's update priority. So friend codes or whatever. Eventually, that's good to see. I wonder how big the friend list limit is. Is there any reason why you can't create a unified account or a unique King of Castle account like Zombie High School? Can't easily support basically linking, unlinking, difficult, right? Are there any plans to add communal content like a world boss that all players can participate in weekly? Are there any plans to release in co-op mode, revamp alliance content, alliance, Dominion Wars? This year we're focused on improving, revamping existing content rather than adding new content. We are considering user feedback, etc., etc. Are there any balance issues with an issue release of new competitive growth content? Are there any plans to select a few users from domestic and international audience to conduct beta testing? That's a good question. Kudos to whoever asked that. We don't have any plans for that. First, as stated in our roadmap, we will try to address internal issues we feel are lacking by adjusting our available resources before seeking help from users. These two last questions hit like it's a slap in the face as us as players. I haven't done, you guys can read it at the bottom there, right? You guys can see that, but I haven't read it yet. But hey, are there any plans to, help beta test some content? And they were pretty much like, hey, no. we're gonna see your suggestions, see what you have to say, but we're gonna test it ourselves with our resources, and TLDR, we're not gonna ask for your help. We don't want the help of you, basically. And if we don't have resources, yeah, we'll reach out. But for right now, nah. Like, we don't care about you testing our stuff. We can test it. We got it under control, and we can test our own stuff, and it's amazing. And that is basically what they're saying. And it is, I don't know if it's a translation issue, but it definitely comes across very bad. Like, it's about community, and there's always been this huge this has always been like this, guys. Like, it's just accentuated to an 11 now because there's so many more players in the mix, but there's always been this disconnect between players, community, and the devs. It's always been like that. It's been like that since the beginning, boys. It's just like it's gotten a little more apparent nowadays, right? Definitely with like the new things that they're trying to do, like legacies and things. It's just cranked up to an 11 now. And let's just read this last part. This hurts my soul. Are there any plans? To be fair, full disclosure, this might have been my question in my FAQ. Are there any plans to support content creators making videos for KGC like other games do? At the current time, there aren't many content creators for King God Castle, so there are no plans at the moment. Bro, it is just a slap in the face. I read this. To be fair, I didn't really go super deep into other questions, but I read this specific question, and it literally shot my passion down for King God Castle as a content creator. I love making content creation. I mean, I'm just a single guy. I have a real life, and this is not my full-time job. I have a full-time job, and I do things as well. I'm a human being. I just make content because I like it, man, and I have a passion for YouTube, right? And it's been so long that I've been trying to grow something, like just getting more eyes to the game. Like, I honestly don't make videos for success. Like, I am very lucky to have a lot of viewers that enjoy my content, think it's helpful, or they have a laugh at it or what have you. It's just, if I can get you guys to have eyes on King God Castle and enjoy it the way I do, because I love King God Castle, great. I never did it for fame or anything like that. I am super like happy and blessed to have like viewers like you guys to watch me. But like, one of my biggest movements was like, hey, what if we can create a content creation community or connection with the devs for King God Castle? Hey, what if we have a content creator program and things like that, and build up some kind of like content creation community and have other things of a lot of other players. I am lucky enough to be in a position where like a lot of players get into the game and see the game for the first time. Like, hey, you helped me find out about the game and got me really interested and things like that. Or like, hey, I started making video content because of you, and that makes me really happy. But to say that we don't have any plans to support your existing little amount of content creators, because the reason that they gave, there aren't that many content creators. So when would you? So basically what they're saying is that, no, we are going to wait until there are enough content creators to start supporting them. That doesn't work like that, bro. It doesn't work like that. Instead, the idea should be, hey, we should support a program to support the current content creators making videos and interested in King God Castle, that have a passion for it. Once they make a program that support the content creators, then guess what? You get more content creators incentivized to make content. Then all of a sudden you build something and you have enough content creators. You don't simply don't do anything and don't support them and just hope, quote unquote, hope that there are more. What the heck? This is freaking crazy. This makes my blood boil, man. This sucks. Like, this, I'm sorry, man. Like, this is just a slap in the face to the community, to content creators, to whatever, anybody who's like speaking about this game in any type of way that is not negative, because you are asking to be talked about negatively in all facets. And I'm sorry to say, but like this hits my passion for even making content for the game. It wasn't like, hey, there aren't any plans to support them now, but please look forward to the future. They could have just said that, by the way, but no, the reasoning was there aren't many. That's what we're doing. They could have literally gave the answer that they have been giving, was like, hey, for our second half of the year, we are really focused on this kind of content, but we are considering making this a thing in the future once we address these issues. They could have said that. They did not. Since they did not, they're not doing anything, boys, which is so sad. It is so sad that any content creator, I mean, and not just me, there are some other content creators and things like that, but like giving zero recognition, not supporting the people being excited, and like actually, it's just, it boggles my mind, bro. I could go on about this for like an hour or plus. Like this dumb, freaking, there's so many dumb things. Like it is a really bad time right now to be a King God Castle player. So I can't, like, as of right now, it's so hard for me to like even suggest someone to even start playing, because I feel like the devs and however, whatever, there needs to be some kind of shift or change that they're like, hey, yeah, we screwed up. Yeah, we're going to start investing in our community. By the way, there has always been a disconnect between the community. Always. If you are a current player and you're like, oh, the community's great, that means that you're not invested in the King God Castle community, right? Because everyone knows the actual King God Castle community is something special. It is not somewhere you want to be, right? So it's like Discord server, like how many players you actually have in that Discord server, the main official, like just what they're doing with it, and it's insane, dude. This boggles my mind. It makes me very sad as a King God Castle player, and it does affect my hype and passion to make content. Now, to be fair, I am still playing and I will keep on making content, but this thing will always be in the back of my head, and it's just sad to see. It is sad to freaking see. So hopefully there's going to be a time in the near future, hopefully, where they look at this and look at player feedback, maybe, if they even look, and they're like, hey, yeah, we screwed up, and our initial ways of going about things suck, and we're gonna do something about it. But it's always been like that disconnect's always been there, and it hasn't really changed too much. So I don't exactly have any hopes for that, unfortunately, but I could be wrong. We'll see. Anyways, that was a little of a bummer at the end there. This was a freaking long. This video is gonna be freaking like 2 hours long. I don't freaking know, but let me know in the comments below if you guys went through this, and let me know what you thought about it. It is a super disappointment, man. Man, I got so sad when I read this, bro. Like, it's just a slap in the face. But the update's pretty cool. Dang, red. Hello. Anyways, leave a comment down below. What do you think about the red skin? What do you think about this update? What do you think about the direction of the game? Like a rework? How do you think that's going to be going? All these, there's so much crap, man. There's so much crap. Negatively, positively. Unfortunately, it seems widely that there's more negative in the air rather than positive, but rightly so. I just hope for a better future, and hopefully we can only hope now. Okay, we can only hope that it becomes less pay to win, more free to play. I'm definitely there's a misunderstanding that I'm like supporting the pay to win movement of the devs and things like that. All because I don't voice it publicly doesn't mean I support it. I definitely am against it. Like, it is stupid that the legacies are so ingrained in the system and it's so hard to get. and is definitely they're not helping with that system, bro. Like they're like, hey, we're gonna put the legacy stuff in Dominion, everyone's gonna be happy, right? And then it seemed like a lot of people were like, yeah, Dominion, we can farm it now, I'm gonna be happy. And I'm like, are you happy though? Are you gonna be happy? I didn't think they were gonna be happy, and I don't think many people are gonna be happy. So that needs to change, bro. So hopefully they change it pretty relatively quickly, but judging by the track record of AWESOMEPIECE and the speed that they move in, it's definitely going to be over time, and it is definitely long haul type of thing. So, you know, it is what it is. Anyways, I'm going to end this one here, man. It was a freaking long one. Thumbs if you liked it, subs if you loved it. I'm still sticking around, and I'll see you next one, boys. Later.